I'm inspecting Jeff's cleaning work, and I'm rather impressed because this grain cart is 95-ish% clean, which is impressive because it was about 1%-ish clean and covered in mud yesterday. But we're gonna put her away. I think the inside of the tractor cab could use some love as well. Someone tracked mud in here, a lot of it. Put that thing down in storage mode. Boom. Today we are closing a chapter in the harvest book on something I've ran for a lot of hours, putting away the grain cart. Because that big combine is wider. I could probably come over another 2 foot. Yeah. As long as we can get through here. Yeah. Pretty satisfied with where this puppy's at right now, so we're gonna get ready to unhook it. We're free. Thank you for your service. Got that off our list for the morning. Now we can go have some fun and play with the big boy. There it is in all its glory. And now mud. Let's fire this thing up and let it get warm. We gotta turn some slop over. Maybe the key is the perfect tool to pop this open. Oh, it is. That's to encourage you to lock your tractor, I guess. Plenty of oil. Still looks brand new. This tractor's definitely having a good break-in period because pulling in that mud takes a lot of power. Not that we want to be working out there, but it seems like the lesser of two evils. Now, if I got this thing stuck, that'd be impressive. Help if I didn't drop the key. Ah! Whop, 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 whop. Time to rock and roll. I've got about 20 minutes worth of work left on the outside of this field, but my lovely mother is going to run me over to Windsor, which is about 30 minutes away. We're going to check our 200-acre field over there and see if it's dry enough to work, which certainly willing to bet that it's drier than this sloppy mess. There's not any water standing in my massive grain cart ruts, which is the opposite of the field I just came from, so I think I'm going to go ahead and work this. Might as well. It's supposed to rain again tonight. There's no doubt about it that there's going to be some soft spots out here, but if I can crawl my way through that last field, I think I can get through anything. I'm ready to be out of this field. I think the tractor and the ripper are as well, because this is just not pretty. Doing everyone a favor and getting the mud off of this before I take it down the road. There's a lot of it. Don't mind me, Ross, just being a good citizen. Keeping roads clean. Do any of you remember us slopping out this field? I can tell you one thing, my manhood does not enjoy the looks of this. gonna have a lot of bruises in bad places tomorrow because I've been just getting beat up going through these ruts. Ow. Hopefully we don't pull this ripper in two. Ow. We have to pay for our sins this year. But we are running the Great Eraser. You'll never even know we had ruts out here in about 20 minutes. It just cannot be good for anything involved in this train. Myself included. Okay, I think we cleared that one. We're almost done with this set of ruts, and then we're going to a field that's 200 acres of ruts. This mud's just the gift that keeps on giving. I'm ready for it to be gone. More acres turned black, and one workers' comp claim later, we're back on the road. Now here's something I've yet to do solo, which is fuel up the tank on this tractor, so we'll see how this goes. Maybe that's what this is for. No idea. Like that, maybe? Whatever. What I'm about to do goes completely against everything I've ever been taught here, but the tractor needs about 225 gallons, maybe 250 gallons, give or take. I really gotta use the bathroom, one, and two, I'm extremely hungry. My parents' house is just up the road, like 20 seconds. I estimate that I have a minimum of 5 minutes before that tractor is full. The reason you don't want to leave it is because the automatic shutoff might not work. And as slow as that pump seems right now, it is very fast when it's pumping out on the ground. So I'm going to zip over there real quick. If anything goes wrong, well, it's my fault, but we're gonna roll the dice here. The only thing it uses more of than diesel fuel is exhaust fluid. Bud's had standing water in a lot of spots. Windsor looks good. I don't know how firm it's going to be.
Well, it's not going to, I don't think it'll dry, the ruts will dry out until you work them. They're only called for a ½ inch. We may miss it.
Yeah, well, it says 100% chance. I'm just going to go ahead and try and get Windsor worked. And then, I mean, Windsor's more important than walk in terms of getting it worked, I think.
And Katie's discing what? Down at the old house?
Oh, I have no idea.
I think.
Happy to report that nothing bad happened because Chris showed up and he kept an eye on the fuel pump for me. I got back fully nourished and with a full tank of fuel, topped off the def. We're headed about 20 miles to the west to our farms in Windsor. Got a couple hundred acres over there. I think I got the long stick today because Dad's picking corn for my grandpa doing some custom work, and sounds like it's about an hour wait at the elevator round trip. So I'm gonna hit the road and be grateful I'm in this tractor and not sitting in a semi at the elevator. We made it, barely. It is 5:15 and this is a 200-acre field, and they're calling for rain sometime in the early AM. Unless I get kicked out of this thing at some point tonight, I'm probably just going to run until either the field's finished or I get rained on. I'm wrapping the outside edge of the field right now, and I've got the Green Star system following the right edge of this ripper, and it's creating a boundary all the way around because I'm going to try and set up the turn automation. It said I have to have a boundary, so I'm going to try it on this field. You can see our boundary growing there. We're on the farthest north side there, which is the last side of it, so we wouldn't even technically have to finish this because it is straight from the northeast to the northwest corner. That's assuming we get to the northwest corner because this is a wet hole. Went through the trouble of getting everything set up, did all this stuff, got to this last one, machine speed automation must be ready. Looked around, couldn't figure it out, called our AMS guy, and wouldn't you know that this is a premium activation, that this tractor only has simple steering, like auto steer. We don't have anything fancy like turn automation. It would have been cool to, jeez, at least demo the product, but that's all right. I'm a little disappointed because I'm a techie and I like that stuff. For the sake of progress, I'm gonna crank this out of the ground a couple inches. It looks like 5 turns to the left is 1 inch. There's 1, 2. That was more than 2 inches. That might have been like 2.5, we'll see. Doesn't matter, as long as the discs are turning. Lenny and Allie came to see how the big tractor works. Hey, Mr. Blue Eyes. Oh, he's not speaking to me. Hey! Hey, baby! Okay, never mind. The silent treatment. I think he learned that from his mom. Well, however many turns I did was too much. So we're gonna do 1, 2, okay, we're doing 7 back. My front discs weren't even really cutting into the ground, and that's very important because those discs are the initial point of chopping for all the soil and the stalks. The shanks in the middle kind of lift and flip the soil. Another set of discs on the back, they kind of provide an additional chopping of the disturbed soil. Then of course we've got our incredibly powerful and aggressive rolling basket on the back. And this year it seems just to be to kind of mush up the mud. Oh no!
You're driving.
I've been fired. Is that for me? No? I figured I ought to give you a quick update from the battlefield. We're running about 7 to 8 inches deep, which is shallower than we normally run this disc ripper, but I'm just trying to cover more ground and really work in the ruts because that's the biggest evil we're trying to get rid of here. This tractor is absolutely playing with this thing, except for if we hit a soft area like this right here. I'm pulling it out of the ground a little bit, but we're still getting good chopping, disturbing action in the soil. Looks pretty good. Obviously, we're going to have to field cultivate it in the spring, but we always do. Impressed with this tractor and this ripper. We're gonna keep going. Covered about 100 acres so far, so halfway done. I'll leave you with one last note for now. This 9620R, it ain't your Grandpappy's tractor. This thing is a beast, a modern horse in our stable. Unfortunately, Murphy's Law has taken place here, and my plans of finishing this 200-acre field tonight have been thwarted. Why is that, you ask? Well, you see, on that side of the ripper, there's something missing. I have completely lost one of my tires. I still have the rim, but the tire's gone. Not exactly too surprised that I lost a tire, considering what this entire field's been like for me. It's a little rough. Did a quick little switcheroo. Took the crazy wheel off. Put it on the wing here. I guess somehow in that process I managed to get fired. I'm not gonna complain, but I really had no problem working as late as required, and I also just consumed a lot of caffeine, so I'm in trouble one way or another. The big 620 ended up making it home last night. Little fuel to spare. You know it's got too much power when it's literally running the wheels off of the ripper. But glad to have that 200 acres worked. We're down to the short rows, as they say. Just gotta wait for it to dry up. Disc ripper was not the only implement running late the other night. Vertical till has also been covering a lot of ground. I'm gonna go take it to the fuel barrel because I believe Jeff tapped it dry at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. We've got a tank of fuel down there at our dad's old house, but the problem was Jeff wanted to keep running. The field wasn't done and there was rain coming, but we didn't want to wake up the renters at that house because we thought that'd be kind of rude of us. So we like 40 or 50 acres here, and it's pretty wet. It was already extremely wet because I had to dig out the rolling basket yesterday or the day before, pulled out a couple gallons of mud, which is not a fun job. That disc ripper has a very forgiving rolling basket, or crumbler as some people would call it. Doesn't really pack full of mud. that land all vertical till though, oh my gosh, it's a nightmare. Fuel pumps definitely seem to run slower when it's colder outside. Regardless of the physics of the situation, the viscosity of the fuel, it just kind of stinks to be out here and wait in the cold for 250 or 300 gallons in your tank, especially with a slow pump like this that's probably moving 10 gallon per minute if it was lucky, probably more like 5. Collected a lot of mud on this thing over the last week. $251 gallons later. Ran out of fuel as the tank gets full on the tractor. Picture perfect. Based on what I'm seeing, I think we're going to need a day or two to let this ground dry out before we can even consider working it some more. I'm pretty satisfied with where we're at tillage wise, so if we don't get it worked, we don't get it worked. Need to get rid of this key. Not a good place for it. That job right there feels kind of like a cumulative punishment. It's a combination of my 3 least favorite things: cold weather, being covered in mud, and soybean dust. It's like a trifecta. They're cleaned off in a lot better shape than they were last year, or at least the 630. We never got a chance to clean it, so I feel better about that. A lot of people gave me a hard time this summer when we got them out because this one was dirty. They're not spotless, far from it, but we got the bulk of the stuff off, and hopefully next year when I service all the gearboxes and lube it up, I don't have an allergy attack from the copious amounts of soybean dust left on there. This is the final boss. Got in the door with the pickup truck. Now we're going to do the fine tuning work for the 6430. Gearing up to put the augers away in that corner right over there where the combine is. They're long enough though that we need this extra space on the north end of the barn to get them straightened out and backed in. This is always one of the more fascinating jobs we do here on the farm, is get those augers over there. I think about 75-ish foot long into that back corner. It's great family bonding. May be the smoothest that's gone in a couple of years. You never really know what you're gonna get. Some days we run like a well-oiled machine. Other days it looks like it's our first day on the job. Alrighty everyone, I think that's gonna end our saga here. I appreciate you all tuning in. Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you want to see more, and comment down below if you have any questions. You know I love to talk about farming. Have a great day everyone. Peace!